Happen Pharmaceuticals in association with Higher Secondary Principals Forum.
Hello students, I am Mrs. Sarika Sadesai and I am teaching in Mushtiphan Higher Secondary School. Today I am here just because all of you, that is the student community, is very special and dear to me. I will be dealing with my lesson, Accounting for Shares and Debentures. Welcome for my lectures. In this lesson, Accounting for Shares and Debentures, I will be covering features of the company, types of shares, kinds of companies, categories of share capital, issue procedure of shares, accounting treatment for shares, debentures, types of debentures, difference between debentures and shares, and accounting for debentures. So, I welcome all of you for my lessons in accounting. I hope you all will enjoy them, you all will like them, and you all will understand what is being taught in my lectures. This accounting lesson, that is accounting for shares and debentures, consists of 12 marks for Goa board examination. Now how these 12 marks are allotted? There will be 2 questions of 4 marks wherein you have to pass journal entries. One on issue of shares and one on issue of debentures. Then there will be 2 MCQs, 1 mark each, and there will be 1 2 marks question. So this is how is the marks allocation for this chapter, accounting for shares and debentures. Till now you all have studied accounting for sole traders, accounting for partnership, and today we will start studying accounting for companies. Now what is a company? Let me explain to you what is a company. Now see, I have got an idea of a very good project. I want to take up an enterprise which requires a lot of money. Now from where to get this money? I don't have so much. So I decide that I will take others into my business. I will share my profits with them. At the same time, they are going to give me money to use. So how do I do that? And I want a huge amount. So partnership will not work. So I want many people to join my business. So I will decide what is my capital. So I require say 5 lakh rupees to do this business. This is my estimate. Now this 5 lakh I am going to divide in smaller units, say 1 unit of 100 rupees. So I will have 5,000 smaller units. These are called shares. So I am offering these shares to the public. I am giving you all these shares. I say I have got 5,000 shares. Now you people buy these shares. Now those who are interested in investing in the business, they have money, they want to invest in the business, they will buy my shares. That means they will apply for my shares, and that is how I am going to get a huge amount. This full amount I will be covering, I will be taking from all the people who are applying for my shares, and this is how I will start with my business. Now formally speaking, what is a company? Company is nothing but artificial legal person created by law having a common seal and a perpetual succession. Now from this definition we get certain features. Let us understand them. First let me tell you this definition in simple terms. It is an artificial person. Why artificial? Because it is not born like you and me. It is created by human being. Okay? And it is a legal person because it is registered under certain law, Companies Act. We are registering this company under Companies Act, and that's why it is artificial legal person created by law having a common seal. Now I can sign so that it becomes a document, legal document signed by me. I am responsible for it. But can this artificial person sign? No, the artificial person cannot sign. So what now? That's why they want their stamp. So have you gone to any bank and deposited money? When you go to the bank and deposit money, you get a slip wherein there is a stamp of the bank. Why that stamp? When that stamp is put, it becomes a valid document. Okay? So that stamp is required, which is called as seal. So having a common seal and a perpetual succession. Now these people have bought my shares. This 5,000 shares I have sold and they have bought my shares. Now anything happens to their life is not going to disturb my company. They may sell the shares to somebody else, they may transfer the shares to somebody else, whatever it may be, but anything happening in the life of the shareholder is not going to disturb the company. The company will carry on with its business. Okay? So let us now see the features of this company. So now we have the features of the company. Let us discuss these features in detail. So we have the first one, voluntary association. Now voluntary association means what? Means we are not forcing anybody to join the organization. Anyone who wishes to invest will buy our shares and join the organization. When the person buys a share, means he becomes the owner of the company to the extent that he has invested, okay? And nobody has forced him. That's why it is a voluntary association. Next, we have a separate legal entity. So company is considered as a separate legal entity. What do you mean by separate legal entity? I told you the law considers it as a separate person, separate from the shareholders. Shareholders are the owners. They have their own individual existence and this business has got its own individual existence. The company is a separate person. Limited liability. That means the liability of the shareholders is limited to the extent of the face value of the shares that they have invested. Like, for example, one person buys one share. What was the cost of one share? I have shown you earlier. It was 100 rupees, right? So if a person buys one share, 100 rupees. Now my company goes into liquidation. Now I have to pay the creditors. Liquidation means I am closing the company, okay? At this time, I cannot just take money from that person who has invested. I can use only that 100 rupees. So his liability is only to the extent of 100 rupees. He might not get his 100 rupees back, but I cannot take his personal assets. Okay? So this is called as limited liability. Next we have perpetual succession. This is what I explained to you earlier. Anything happening with the shareholders will not have the effect on the working of the company. So it is a perpetual business of the company will go on. Next we have common seal. I told you the company is a legal person, cannot sign. So they have a common stamp, that is called as common seal. So the directors will sign, they will assign the stamp, then it becomes the company document. Then we have transferability of shares. Now shares can be easily transferable. I can even sell my shares in the stock market. Okay, so somebody else who buys the shares will become the owner of the company. May sue or be sued. That means it is a legal person. Now if anybody does anything wrong to it, it can take that other person to the court. At the same time, other person, like maybe some shareholders or maybe some third party, can take the company to the court. Okay? So these were the features of company form of organization. Now let us move to the next. Kinds of companies. So we have different kinds of companies. I will briefly do this because you all have learned this in BS last year. So I'll just briefly cover this. Companies limited by shares. Now these are the companies wherein the liability of the shareholders is limited to the face value of the shares that they have invested. Companies limited by guarantee. Here the liability of the shareholders is limited to the extent of the guarantee that they have given in case of winding up of the company. Unlimited companies. Now here the liability of the shareholders is unlimited. So their personal properties can also be taken up. On the basis of number of members, a company can be divided into two categories as follows. Public company, here the shares are issued to the public. There is no limit on membership. Private company, here the company is privately owned. The shares are not freely issued to the public and the membership is limited to 50 members. Now we have nature and classes of shares. So we have categorized the shares into two. One, preference shares and another one is equity shares. Now let us understand what are preference shares. Now preference shares means the holder of these shares have got preferential rights. Now what are these preferential rights? These preferential rights are, first one, in payment of dividend. That means they will be paid their dividend before the equity shareholders are paid. Second thing, in repayment of their capital. So whenever there is a time, okay, because of liquidation and all, the capitals have to be repaid to the shareholders. In that case, the preference shareholders will be paid first and only after paying the preference shareholders, whatever remains will be given to equity shareholders. Now they don't have any voting right in the matters of the company. Their voting right is limited to the extent of their interest. So they cannot participate in the working of the company. Now we have the equity shareholders. Now equity shareholders are the real risk bearers, the real risk takers. Why? Because they will be paid after paying the preference shareholders. They don't have a fixed rate of dividend. They will be paid only after everybody else is paid. So even the profits made by the company, first the dividend of the preference shareholders will be paid and after that whatever remains is for the equity shareholders. So they have the voting rights in the management of the company. So these are the classes of shares. Now next we go to categories of share capital. Now let us see what are these categories of share capital we have. Let us now discuss the categories of share capital. Now share capital is categorized into different steps which I have put down over here in this PPT. So let me take up one by one and let me explain to you. Authorized share capital. This is the capital with which the company is registered. It is the maximum capital that the company can raise throughout its lifetime. Now supposing the registered capital is say 5 lakhs. Doesn't mean company has to issue all the shares to public at one go. Company will decide as and when to issue the shares. So the shares that are issued to the public for subscription is called as issued capital. Issued capital is the capital which is issued to the public for subscription. Unissued capital, that is a part of authorized capital which is not issued yet by the company, that is unissued capital, means which is not offered for public subscription. Now this issued capital can be further classified as subscribed capital and unsubscribed capital. Now the company has issued, supposing company has issued 1000 shares for public, doesn't mean public have to buy all 1000 shares. So maybe I will get applications for 500 shares. Now this 500 share capital, 500 shares will be my subscribed capital. So subscribed capital is the part of issued capital for which the company has received applications. Unsubscribed capital is the part of issued capital which is not subscribed by the public. So nobody has asked for this share. So that is unsubscribed share capital. Next, now subscribed share capital. I have received applications, people have asked for these shares, then I will decide to ask them to pay me the amount. See, the company has got a choice whether to ask to pay full amount with application, or the company might collect the amount in stages. Okay. So whatever amount, supposing 100 rupee was the share, now company is asking you to pay 50 rupees, then that 50 rupees will be called up. The one which is not asked by the company to pay, company has not yet made the calls, that will be uncalled capital. So subscribed capital we have, which can be further classified as called up capital, uncalled up capital. Called up is what the company has asked the shareholders to pay. Uncalled up is company has not yet asked the shareholders to pay. Now called up capital, the company has asked you to pay. Now some people will pay, some people might not pay. So what is not paid is called as calls in arrears. So the calls are made but which are not yet paid till the due date is called as calls in arrears. So till the due date the amount was not paid. Okay, the due date is over, still the amount is not paid, it is calls in arrears. Now paid up capital is the amount which the shareholders had already paid on their calls. So company has made the calls, shareholders have paid the amount, that is paid up capital. Now this uncalled capital means what? The company has not yet asked to pay. So this uncalled up capital can be called as reserve capital and unreserved capital. Reserved capital, unreserved capital. Now what is reserved capital? Reserved capital means the part of uncalled capital which the company reserves for winding up. That means it will be called only in case of winding up. If there is no problem of winding up, this capital will not be called. So it will remain as uncalled capital. Whereas unreserved capital is the part of uncalled capital which the company might call any time as and when they need the amount. Okay. So this is clear to you. So these were the categories of share capital. Okay. Your NCERT book is nicely giving all this classification. So please read the book. Now we go for the next one. The important steps in the procedure of share issue. Now what are the different steps the company has to follow when it is issuing shares? Let us see these steps now. So, issue of prospectus. Issue of prospectus means what? Now company wants money, so company wants to issue shares to the public, but public should be aware that the company is selling shares, company is offering the shares, then only they will be able to buy. So the company has to first issue this prospectus. This prospectus is nothing but like an advertisement that company is coming out with the shares. So it is an invitation to the public to buy these shares. Now this prospectus will give the details of the company, because you want to know, no, when you are investing in particular shares, you want to know what this company is all about, what it is doing, what are its objectives. Okay. So this prospectus will give the picture of the company, and also it will give the details how the company expects you to pay the amount on shares, whether in one go or in installments, whatever it is. So this prospectus will give you the clear picture. So now company has issued the prospectus. All of you have come to know that the company has some shares which are issued to the public. Now you want to apply for these shares. You have some surplus amount which you want to put in the shares. So next step will be receipt of applications. Now you people, the public, you people means the public who wants to buy the shares, they will take the application forms. Usually these application forms are made available with certain banks which are mentioned in the prospectus. So public will take the applications. Along with application money, the company must have told you to pay certain amount. So along with the applications, the money will be deposited in the bank. So you are applying for the shares and depositing the money in the bank. Now from company's side, now when I am doing accounts, see, remember when I am writing the books, I have to remember I am writing it for the company. So I am a company over here, okay. So from my point of view, if you see, I have received the application forms and I have received the amount, okay. So I will be receiving the amount. Now I will scrutinize the applications. I will see how much applications I have received. Now there is a rule that there should be minimum subscription. Now what is minimum subscription? Minimum subscription means some amount is specified, number of shares are specified in the articles of association and you must get that much applications. So those many shares should be sold, that is the meaning of that. For example, normally it is 90%, okay, normally it is 90% of the total issued capital. So only when you get applications for that 90% of the issued capital, then only you can go ahead with the further procedure. Otherwise, no, you have to refund the money back to the applicants and you cannot issue these shares and you cannot start with the company, okay. So you have to check for the minimum subscription. Once the minimum subscription is done, then you go for the next stage, that is allotment. So here the applications will be scrutinized by the directors, then they will decide whom to give the shares and whom not to give the shares. If they decide to give the shares, there is some legal procedure which has to be followed and then the letters will be sent to the public for whom the shares are given and for whom the shares are not given. Now what letters? Letter of allotment will be sent to the people to whom the shares are allotted and letter of regret to the people to whom the shares are not allotted. That means their applications are rejected. So when their applications are rejected, their money will be given back. So there will be refund. Now once you get the shares, once the shares are allotted to you, you become the shareholder, that is the owner of the company to the extent of the face value of the share that you are investing. Now later on, see, it all depends on the company. I already told you how much money to collect at what stage, okay. Now the company, as and when they need, they will ask to pay the further installments, okay, if there are, because sometimes it may so happen that company is collecting all the money at allotment only. But if the company has not collected, then the company will ask you to pay in installments and those installments are called as calls. So we have the next step, that is calls on shares. So as and when the directors want to collect the money, they will make these calls. So they are the installments of the amount of shares, okay. So we go for the next now. Now I want you to know certain things about issue of shares. Issue at par, okay, certain terms, par. Issue at par. Now what is this par? As I told you, the total capital was subdivided into small units. So each unit had some face value, okay, that is a nominal value. Now the company might sell the shares at that face value or it might sell at any other price. So if the company is selling it or offering it at the face value, it is called as issue at par. So issue at par means issue at face value. Now we have issue at premium. Okay. Premium means what? More than the face value. So company is offering the shares to the public at a price more than the face value. Now supposing the face value was 100, now company is issuing it at 110. So what is the premium amount? 10 rupees. So the company has issued the shares at a premium of 10 rupees. So 110 is the issue price. Next one, you have issue at discount. Now what do you mean by issue at discount? The share is offered to the public for subscription at a price less than the face value. So, the face value of example was 100. Now, these 100 rupee shares are issued at 90 rupees. That means it is issued at less price, that is called as issue at discount. Now, certain important terms I would like to tell you, because before we start with a problem and all, you should always see for this, okay, what the problem has to say. Issue is fully subscribed. If the problem mentions issue is fully subscribed, that means the company has got applications for whatever shares they have offered. So, their shares are fully asked for. Okay. Issue is oversubscribed. Oversubscribed means company has received applications for more than the number of shares that they have issued. Like for example, if the company has issued 1000 shares and they receive applications for 5000 shares. Now, can the company sell 5000 shares? No. So, how much they have got extra? 4000. That means the issue is oversubscribed by 4000. So, offered was 1000, applications received was 4000. So, I would say issue is oversubscribed. Issue is undersubscribed. That means company has issued certain amount of shares, but they have received applications for less than whatever they have offered. Okay, that means supposing I have offered 1000 shares and I have got applications only for 300 shares. That means my issue is undersubscribed. This plays a very important role when you are solving a problem. Okay, I will tell you when I am solving the problem for you. Now, accounting treatment. Now, let us see the accounting treatment. That means this, when the shares are issued to the public subscribe for it, that means they send applications and then we allot the shares to them, then we make the calls. So, all this thing, how is it is recorded by the company in its books of accounts. That is what we are going to study in accounting treatment. Okay? So, what was the first step? The first step was we were issuing the prospectus, correct? Now, after issuing the prospectus, the people who are interested in our shares, they would make applications. So, they would write the applications and whatever amount the company has asked to pay along with the applications, they would deposit that amount in a bank account, correct? So, let us see on receipt of applications, what entry the company has to pass. Company is receiving the money, so money comes in, so bank account debit. See students, here first you should know the rules of accounting, the golden rules, okay? And those golden rules and the modern rules of accounting you all have studied in your 11th standard, right? So, we are going to apply those rules over here, okay? So, what were the rules? Debit the receiver. Now, bank is the receiver over here. Money comes in, okay. So, bank will be debited. To share application account. This share application account is a personal account, correct. So, we have received money. Why we have received money? For share application. So, we create one account called as share application account, okay. This is a personal account. So, these people are the givers of that money to us, okay. Then write the narration. Amount received on application for dash shares at rupees dash per share. So, our first stage is done. We have received the applications. Next is what? Allotment. Now, the directors will decide whom to give the shares, whom not to give the shares. Okay, so that if there was a oversubscription, some shares would be rejected and then you have to pay the money back to them, refund the money back to them. Now, we are taking the second stage on allotment, okay. So, we have allotment completed now. So, what happens on allotment? How do I record? First, I have to transfer the money that I have collected on share application to my share capital, okay. So, share capital is what balance? It is a credit balance. So, I have to credit share capital and I have created one account there, share application account. So this account has to be cancelled now when I am transferring it to share capital. So my entry for transfer of application to share capital will be share application account debit to share capital account. Narration: being amount received on application for dash shares at rupees dash per share transferred to share capital. Narration is an explanation to the entry. You can write it in your own words also. Now next we have the refund of money. Okay, we have to refund the money. No, whose money will be refunded? Those whose shares are rejected. So we have to give back their money now. So we have the entry share application account debit to bank account. See, first when we received applications, we received money, what entry we passed? Bank account debit to share application, correct? So we have credited share application. Now we are refunding this money, we are giving this money back, so you have to reverse the entry. So share application account debit to bank account. This is for the refund. So write the narration: being application money returned on rejected applications for dash shares. Now next we have allotted to them. So we will send them the letters now to the shareholders saying that please pay the amount so and so, your shares have been allotted to you. So allotment letter is sent to them. So the money becoming due, they will be paying us. So once we send them the letters, we are going to pass the entry and we are going to increase our share capital with the allotment money. So we have the entry over here for allotment money due, share allotment account debit to share capital. So for allotment we have created an account called as share allotment account. So we are debiting it because we are going to get this money in future to share capital because our capital is increasing. Okay. Being allotment money due on dash shares at rupees dash per share. Next, now we are collecting the money. So for receiving the allotment money, which money we are collecting? We are collecting the allotment money. So when we are collecting, bank is the receiver. So bank account debit to share allotment account, because here we had created in the previous entry, see, we had created share allotment account, we had debited it. Now we want to close it. So we will have to credit it, okay, and debit bank. So we have already collected the amount. Write the narration now. Being allotment money received on dash shares at rupees dash per share. Now if you see, if you just analyze, see, these are the two main entries, okay. First to receive the amount, then to transfer to the share capital. Now in case of first step, that is application, what happens? You receive the amount first, then you transfer to share capital. Further, in the next stages, what you do? You first transfer the amount to the share capital and then you receive. So if you see these two entries, in each stage, you are repeating the same two entries. Only the order is different. In application, first you are receiving, then you are transferring. In other stages, first you will be transferring to share capital and then you will be receiving. So let us go for the next now. On calls. Now the company will make calls. Allotment is completed. So when they require money, they are going to make calls. So what will be the entry first when the calls are made? That means letters of calls will be sent to the shareholders asking them to pay. And when their letters are sent, company will record. So company will increase the capital, okay, and create an account called as share call account. Now this can be first call, it can be second call. So whatever calls, you have to mention the call. And whichever is the last call, supposing the first call is only the last call, that means the company is taking all the amount in this call only, then it will be first and final call. If company makes a second call, Which is the final call? Then it will be second and final call. So whichever is the last call, you have to fix the word final with that call. Okay. So here now we have share call account debit, and what are we increasing by debiting share call? We are increasing our capital. So to share capital account. Okay, so capital is a credit balance, you are increasing it, so still you have to credit it. Okay, so that's why to share capital account. Now here we have being call money due on dash shares at rupees dash per share. Further now we are going to the next stage. What we are going to do in the next step? We have made the call, the letters are sent to the public. Now what the public will do? Public will pay us, no? So we will get money. So when we are receiving the money, what is the entry we are passing? We are collecting the money. Bank account debit. Okay, for what are we getting this amount? For the calls. So to share call account. So here we are trying to close the call account, and the account will be closed if we have collected all the money that is due. If we have not collected all the money, the call account will remain. Let us see what will happen with that later. So first write the narration of this. Being call money received. Okay. Now we have made the call. If you have collected the full amount, we have credited the share call. Share call account is closed. If it doesn't close, that means we have not collected. So let us see now. If we have not collected, that means people have not paid. So whatever amount is not paid on the calls made is called as calls in arrears. Okay. So once again I am telling you what are calls in arrears. Calls in arrears is that part of the capital which is called up by the company, but the people have not paid till the due date. Okay. So the due date is over, still the people have not paid. So it is called as calls in arrears. Now how will we record the calls in arrears? Calls in arrears account debit, because this is the amount due to us from the shareholders, correct? So apply the rule, they are like our debtors now. So calls in arrears account debit, this is also a personal account. Account debit to share first call or second and final call, or it can be even allotment money. Whichever money is not received, whichever call is not received, we have to credit. Okay, so that we can close that particular call account. Okay, and we are creating a new account as calls in arrears account. So calls in arrears account debit to share first/second and final call. Write the narration. Calls in arrears brought into account. Okay. Now, supposing the shareholder decides to pay later, the due date was over, but the shareholder wants to pay. So, when we collect the amount on calls in arrears, what will be the entry? We are collecting the amount. Collecting means bank account is the receiver. So, bank account debit, because bank is the receiver, bank account debit to calls in arrears account, because now we are closing the calls in arrears account. Okay. Write the narration now. Being amount on calls in arrears received. Now we go for the next thing, next concept. These were the calls in arrears. Now there may be some people who want to finish off paying all the money on the shares, whether the company makes the call or not makes the call. So along with the allotment money only, they might want to pay the full entire amount on the shares. Then the company is receiving this call money in advance. Company has not yet made the call. So the company receives the money in advance. It is a liability for the company, right? So it is called as calls in advance. So let us see for calls in advance how the company records. Okay. What are calls in advance? Calls in advance is the amount of calls that the company has received before the call has become due. Okay, so it has received it in advance. So what will be the entry? You are receiving the money, so bank account debit. And why are you receiving it? for calls in advance. So it is a liability. Okay, it is also a personal account. So let us see now the narration. Being call money received in advance on dash shares. Now supposing at the allotment time only, one person has paid us even his first call. Okay. Now when I am making the first call and receiving the first call, I have to adjust this amount because I have already collected this amount. Okay. So when I am going to receive the first call amount, that particular person who has already paid is not going to pay me again. So at that time I will receive less amount. Okay, whatever amount has become due, I will not receive full. Why? Because a part is already paid to me by one shareholder in advance. So now at that time of receiving that call, I have to adjust for this call in advance. So let me see for the adjustment of calls in advance on call due. So whenever the call becomes due and I am receiving the money, how am I going to adjust it? Calls in advance account debit. See, I had created that liability there and I had said 2 calls in advance. Now I want to close it. That was a credit balance there. To clear that credit balance, what I have to do? I have to debit. So I am debiting calls in advance account. And then 2 particular calls. So whichever call, if it was first call I had received in advance, I would say 2 first call account. If it was second call, I would say second call account. If it was third and final, I would say 2 third and final call account. Now I have to write the narration. Calls in advance adjusted with call money due. Usually this is combined when you are collecting the money on that particular call. Okay, at that time we will be combining these calls in advance because we are adjusting it there. So let us understand that when we are doing the problem. Let us make the concept clear about over here. Okay, calls in advance is liability. Calls in asset is calls in arrears is an asset. No. Now let us take a small problem to understand how these journal entries that we have learned, the concepts of the journal entries that we have learned are to be applied over here. So I have taken one problem and I will be solving it. So this slide will show you the problem as well as the solution. Okay. Please pen down the problem in short. Okay. Pen down the problem and try to understand it and then you solve it. Okay. So I have the problem and solution. Okay. And here I am trying to make clear the problem with under subscription. I had taught you the concepts, no? Under subscription, over subscription, full subscription. Now you will understand the importance over here now. Saatchi Company Limited issued 10,000 equity shares of ₹100 each payable as follows. On application ₹25 per share, on allotment ₹30 per share, on first call ₹25 per share, on second and final call ₹20 per share. Applications were received for 8,000 equity shares. Allotment was completed and allotment money received. The calls are not yet made by the company. Pass journal entries to record the above transactions in the books of the company. Okay? So whenever you see a problem, see students, very important when you are solving a problem is that you understand the problem. See what you are expected to do. Okay? When you understand the problem, the solution becomes very easy. So you read the problem once, you read it twice, okay? But try and see that you understand the problem. Let us understand this problem. How many shares are issued? 10,000 equity shares are issued. Very important to know here that it is equity shares. Okay? you have to see what is the class of the shares, because when you are recording, you must not only say share capital, you must say equity share capital. If it is preference share, you must say preference share capital. Very, very important, because otherwise you are going to lose your marks for this. Then, on application, now there are different stages. Company is issuing how many shares? 10,000 shares. What is the face value of those shares? 100 rupees. So, value of one share is 100 rupees. Now, how the company is going to collect this 100 rupees? On application, 25, on allotment, 30, on first call, 25, okay, and second and final call, 20. See the total, it comes to 100, okay. So, these shares are issued at par. See the concept I am applying over here. These shares of 100 are issued at par because the company is collecting 100 rupees there, okay. Now, applications were received for 8,000 shares. So, how many shares applications we have got? We have got applications for 8,000 shares. Allotment was completed and allotment money received. Okay. So, allotment is completed and allotment money is received. So, which stage is done? We have received applications, we have transferred it to the share capital, we have allotment money has become due, we have sent them the letters, okay, and also allotment money is received. So, we have also received allotment money and the calls we have not yet made. Okay. So, what we have to do now? Pass entry till receiving of the allotment money. So, let us start with the problem. Are you all ready? Take the pen and start writing. So, let us see. We have to make a journal first. So, I have my journal over here. What is this column? What is the next column we have over here? LF, that is ledger folio. Then I have debit, rupees, because I am going to write everything, all my figures are in rupees. So, I have credit, rupees, correct. The first entry is for application, we are receiving the money. So, bank account debit 2 lakh rupees. So, how many applications did I receive? I received 8,000 applications. How much per application? Per application I have to receive 25 rupees. So, 25. So, how much am I receiving? 2 lakh. Now, this 2 lakh, why am I receiving? Because of share applications. So, to equity share application account, I have to credit the amount. Okay. So, I have got bank account debit to equity share application account. Now, I have to write the narration. So, being application money received on 8,000 shares at rupees 25 per share. I go for the next one now. Now, allotment is done. So, now how many applications I received? I received applications 8,000. This is under subscription. So, all my entries will come on 8,000 now because I have received only 8,000. I can allot only 8,000. I can make calls only on 8,000. So, when I am going further with my problem, all the entries will be on 8,000 shares. Okay? If it was over subscription, I have to refund at the time of allotment and then all my entries will be on issued capital. Okay. But here it is what? It is under subscription. So, all my entries will be on these shares, okay, whatever applications I have received. So, now second one is I am transferring the money that I have received on application to share capital. So, let me transfer it to share capital. Equity share application account debit, I am closing the amount there. What is the amount? 2 lakh rupees. Where am I going to transfer it? I am transferring it to share capital. That means my share capital is going to increase now. So, to equity share capital account. Now, once again I will remind you, very important to put the word equity there. Okay, very, very important to put the word equity there. Now, narration. Being equity share application on 8,000 shares at rupees 25 per share, transferred to share capital account. So I have transferred. Now I will be sending letters to all the members to whom shares are allotted. So when my allotment money is becoming due, so I will transfer it to share capital. So let me transfer it to share capital. Equity share allotment account debit 2,40,000. How am I getting this 2,40,000? How many applications? 8,000. 8,000 applications. What is the allotment money? Allotment money is 30 rupees. So multiply by 30. I get 2,40,000. Is this clear? So now I am going to transfer this to equity share capital account. Okay. Next, now I have to write the narration. Being allotment money due on 8,000 equity shares at rupees 30 per share. Next entry is for collecting the amount. What is the entry for collecting the amount? Bank account debit. How much am I going to collect? I am going to collect full 2,40,000. So 2,40,000. Okay. And why am I getting this money? Because of allotment. So I am closing that equity share allotment account which was debited earlier. So I have to credit it now to equity share allotment account. What is the amount? Amount is 2,40,000. Okay. So with this now see we have done application, collected application money, we have allotted the shares to them and transfer the amount to share capital. Then we have made send the letters to the shareholders for allotment. So allotment money has become due and we have received allotment money. Now we are not passing any further entries. Why? Because the company has not yet made the calls. So they have asked us to pass entries till the money is received. So this will be our last entry with narration. Now I have to write the narration. Okay. And then you have to make the total. You have to make the total because this is what? This is a journal, no? Journal in the books of the company. You have to write over here, journal in the books of which company? Saatchi Company Limited. So let me make the total now. So 2 lakhs plus 2 lakhs 4 lakhs, 4 lakh 6 lakhs 40,000, 6 lakh 87, 8 lakh 80,000. Okay. Okay, with this problem is over.
Prudent Scholars, powered by Lupin Pharmaceuticals.